NSATA members, thanks for joining us. Today, President Marshall and I are pausing with past President Doug Long. Hi, Doug. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Brooke. Thanks for having me.
So a few questions for you. First one is, what makes you most proud to be an athletic trainer in the state of Nebraska?
I think the thing that makes me most proud is the advances that the leadership has made, the governmental affairs. You know, when I was secretary many moons ago, I think we had like $30,000 in the checking account and in the savings account. You know, and now it's up over 100,000. You know, that's really cool. So those advances have been really nice to see. And then the governmental affairs efforts, we had tried to do a bill revision the second year I was president. The fact that we can go to the legislature and have like almost every senator signing on to the bill to begin with is pretty amazing. And for it to get through the unicameral on the first run is just pretty slick.
Congratulations to the governmental affairs for making those relationships with other allied health professionals and also the senators, and they worked hard for many years to get all that through.
Behind the scenes work. It was
really
cool.
a lot of groundwork going on there. So that's very cool.
Well, to follow that question, since you've been president, what changes within the association or just athletic training profession in general stand out to you?
You know, by the time you've been in the profession almost 40 years, you know, I stop and look back, you know, at the things we used to do with treatment. You know, the E-stim units had the metal electrodes and the water sponge pads.
Oh my goodness.
You know, and the concussion protocol, you know, but, you know, the profession itself has advanced so far, and the things we do now that we're capable of, and the new kids coming out are so much better trained.
That's very, very true. So Doug, you've been involved in a lot of things within the association. All levels, districts and national, all the things. What advice would you give to somebody looking to get into leadership?
The first thing is take a shot at it. You know, you'll have to start from the base. When I came through, I did 3 years as PR director, 3 years as secretary treasurer. I did the 2 years as president. Then I made the step over to the district convention coordinator. Did that for a few years. Terry Noonan appointed me to fill a vacancy in the district secretary board, and I did, you know, this is obviously in the time before term limits. I did that for like 8 years.
Oh, wow.
And then did the 3 years as district president. And when I first started, I was walking to the hotel in New Orleans for my first meeting. And I was walking over there, I was just thinking to myself, how did this happen? You know, because it was like, there is no way I am qualified to make this step and to lead this group. You know, I'm like, fair enough. This is going to get Western. You know, so, but you know, it went well. I guess I hope I left the association, the district, in better shape than when we found it. And I had a ton of great people on the board at that point. Absolutely.
Well, you have educated a lot of minds in the last few years. What would you give advice to some young athletic trainer that comes to you about athletic training, and what do you?
Pretty much, one of the things I tell kids is whatever level you want to work at, get some experience at that level. If you want to be a D1 AT, do a degree, get a internship, do something at that level. When I was in college, the pro internship thing for a year was not even on anybody's drawing board, you know. And that if that's where you want to be, that's where you need to to get that experience,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to go over and work at those levels.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, whatever you think you want to get out of it, you need to make sure that you give into it.
Yep.
And going, like I said, with the leadership thing, don't be afraid and think you can't, because the boardroom is filled with people that thought, no, I can't do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all have to get out of our comfort zone to grow. So
yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I never thought for a minute I would be walking into that boardroom as district president. So that's very cool that gals are getting into the leadership roles.
Well, and you have been an athletic trainer for a while. Have you always just been in the high school setting, or have you worked in other settings? Can you give us a rundown of where you've been?
My very first big boy job out of my master's program was at Chadron State.
Oh, okay.
And I was up there for 4 years doing the athletic training thing. I was a head athletic trainer and instructor in physical education, and I taught the PE sciences. So I had anatomy and kinesiology, exercise phys.
Oh,
I taught
those make my heart rate go.
Yeah, everything nobody wants to take. I guess it's me. And then I moved to North Platte to a clinical job because my dad had coffee with a guy who had coffee that was the son-in-law of the PT that owned the clinic in North Platte.
Oh my goodness.
And they were interested in starting a clinical athletic training program. And at that point, that was the only program outside Lincoln and Omaha.
Wow.
And so we did a lot of education, spent a lot of time in meetings talking about value and community benefit and all of those things that all the new programs have to have a handle on. And then 3 years ago, I retired from the hospital in August of 2020, in the height of the COVID nightmare. I retired from the hospital and went to Hershey, Nebraska High School and started being the first full-time staff athletic trainer hired by Hershey High.
They are very lucky.
Yeah, they are.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yes.
I appreciate that. And so I've got 2 sections of physiology, one of anatomy, one class of health careers that turns into medical terminology at the semester.
Wow.
And I've got an athletic training foundations class that's more the academic side, and then I've got an athletic training practicum class.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us and making the trek over here for us so we can meet halfway. Well, I don't know if it's halfway, but
Well, that's okay. I was going to be in town.
Yeah, well, we appreciate
We
that.
are
So thank you so
very
much.
glad to have met
Meet
you.
you guys so you didn't have to drive all the way to North Platte.
Well, we would have done it. For you, we would have done it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. But we just want to wish you a happy President's Day, but
Happy President's Month.
NSATA style, President's Month. So
well, very cool.
Yes. So
I appreciate you gals taking time and asking me to be in on
Yes,
this.
we appreciate you. So thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
See ya.
Mic drop.